Hola! Welcome to another lesson of Spanish 1010 at Virginia College. Today we're going to be talking about AR verb conjugation. Let's review the subject pronouns that we talked about when we learned the verb ser. The subject pronouns, you need to know them for any verb conjugation that you do. I suggest that you write them down, print them out off of your lessons from the course home, or there is also a document that will help you in doc sharing. Yo means I, tú means you, él means he, ella means she, usted means you, nosotros and nosotras both mean we, vosotros and vosotras both mean you all, ellos and ellas both mean they, and ustedes means you all. By themselves, these words are not verbs and cannot be a complete sentence. Be sure to memorize these or have them written down and with you whenever you're going to do verb conjugation. So let's move on to AR verb conjugation. AR verb conjugation has 3 steps, basically the same steps as when we learned how to conjugate the verb ser. Any AR verb, you can recognize it easily because it ends with the letters AR. The majority of verbs in Spanish fall into this category. They're called regular AR verbs. And there's 3 steps that you need to take in order to conjugate them. Remember that conjugating just means changing the form so that it makes sense with the subject. Step number 1 is to remove the AR from the verb. If you have a verb, such as estudiar, you need to remove the AR in order to conjugate it. The second step is to determine the subject and the ending. Who is doing the action? If the verb is estudiar, to study, is it I study, you study, he studies, etc. And the third step is to add the appropriate ending. You can either memorize what the endings are, write them down, print them out off the course home, or you can download the document from doc sharing that has this explanation for you. The subject pronouns are going to be the same. Yo, tú, él, ella, and usted, nosotros, nosotras, vosotros, vosotras, ellos, ellas, ustedes. They're always the same for any verb in any circumstance. What changes is the ending. If you want to conjugate a verb for yo, meaning you want to say that I am doing something, the ending is o. If you want to say that you are doing something, the ending is as. If you want to say that he, she, or the formal you is doing something, the ending is a. If you want to say that we are doing something, the ending is amos. If you want to say that you all are doing something, the ending is ice. If you want to say they or you all are doing something, the ending is on. Now let's practice so you can see what I mean. If you have a verb such as hablar, which means to speak, and you want to say I speak, for example, you might want to say I speak Spanish. Step 1 is to remove the AR, which we've done, which leaves us with habl. The second is to determine the subject and the ending. So if you wanted to say, excuse me, I said I speak, but let's say he speaks. Then it's he, which is a, and the corresponding ending on your chart is a. So that's your ending, a. So you take your root, which is habl, and you add the a, habla. And now that means he speaks. Let's give another example. If you have the word such as estudiar, which means to study, the first step is to take off the AR. The second step is to determine the subject. Let's say in this case, I study. So I is yo, and the ending is o. And then you add the ending onto the root of the verb. Estudi, o. Now the word doesn't mean to study, it means I study. And you can do this for any verb just by figuring out the subject and putting on the appropriate ending.